Okay, now I believe that we live in a world now where you gotta get out there and keep fucking up. That's right. Because through mistakes and problems and whatever, that's the only way you're gonna learn. If you're trying to play by the books and do it right, nobody knows what right is. Nobody knows what works. Anything that worked yesterday isn't gonna work tomorrow. And it means now all of us have to live in this new society that's changing every second, every day or whatever, and we have to learn to deal with it. And the only way we're going to learn to deal with it is getting out there and trying and failing and figuring out or whatever. It's like learning to walk all over again. You have to fall down 100 times before you learn to walk. Otherwise, no kids at 1 year old are going to walk anymore. And that's the way life is now in our economy. You got to get out there and keep failing. Keep trying things even though you don't know what the answer is. Your brain is not going to tell you what's right. Other experts are going to tell you it's right, because what's right for you is different than what's right for anybody else. So the only way to figure it out is to get out there. Like, you're not going to learn how to hit a baseball sitting in your living room and reading books, and no, you got to get out there and try. And what's a little bit right for you, a little bit different for anybody else. And that's what it is. Getting a successful life is really getting out there and failing, having all kinds of screw ups and mess ups and fuck ups you could think of. So get out there and keep screwing up in life. Now, here's a cool little benefit you can tell your boss to give you, because he gets a benefit too. It's a employer's fringe tax deduction. Yeah, and that's the name of the program, Qualified Transportation Fringe Benefit. And if you go to irs.gov and put in Qualified Transportation Fringe Benefit pub, P-U-B, you'll see the pub explained there. There's a paragraph or two. It says how they could write off up to $245 a month to pay your transit coming back and forth to work, whether it's your car, your metro, and even your parking, and even a bicycle. That's a good way to get your boss to pay for a bicycle. Yep. And so that's the Qualified Transportation Fringe Benefit. Go to irs.gov, put that in, Qualified Transportation Fringe Benefit.gov, and you'll find out about that benefit, and just slip a little paper under the boss's door, because he gets a tax benefit too. He doesn't pay any taxes on that, and neither do you. Well, do you have a pet? Well, we used to have two cute little dogs ourselves for many, many years, and they gave us a lot of pleasure. But you probably know that, gosh, I mean, pets now could cost a lot of money if you go to the veterinarian, right? You could charge thousands and thousands of dollars, and I guess there's health insurance for that, but most of us don't have it. But a way I found to mitigate some of those costs is going to the college hospitals, the veterinarian college hospitals. They do things for free because they're looking for pay. It's sort of like the dental schools. I used to go to the local dental school when I was younger, because I'd get good dental care for a fraction of the price of what the people in practice would do. And so why not for Fido? So how do you find the list? It's usually very reduced or free or whatever. They're all different, and there's not a whole lot of them, but there's one or two in every state. And if you go to the American Veterinarian Medical Association, and their website is avma.org, avma.org, and right on the front page they have accredited veterinarian hospitals, and there's a list. You just print it. I mean, you just click on it and download it, and you can save it forever. It's a PDF file, and I'll give you the names of all the hospitals and the links or whatever. And so check them out and see what their policy is on freebies or low-cost care for your pet. I mean, it's really expensive nowadays. Well, do you ever hear of the government's WIC program? WIC. It really stands for Women, Infants, and Children. And what it is for families with incomes up like $44,000. It covers you through pregnancy, your infant, and your child up to 5 years old to make sure they get good, healthy food. So you're getting vouchers and things like that to buy healthy food and information about child care and pregnancy care and all those kind of issues that come with having a newborn, because they feel if they invest a little money at that time in people's lives, it saves society so much money forever. So that's why we have this program. It's Department of Agriculture, and if you go to Google and just put WIC, it's the first thing. Every time I try it, it's the first thing there. But it's Women, Infants, and Children's Program, at the Department of Agriculture. And again, it's one of those programs that's federal money, but it goes to the state government, and then so someone locally, and that's how the money is distributed. So you really don't deal directly, with people in Washington, but you go to the Washington website to find out who your local person is. And if you don't know and you get all messed up again like that, well, you can always go to that phone number I give you all the time. It's 211, and ask for, hey, I'm looking for the Women, Infant, Children Program, WIC, and I need it quick to get information about the WIC. And so just to call 211, that's a hotline, and they'll help you find it, because they know. They have a big Rolodex, not a Rolodex I'm sure anymore, but on a computer of all these kinds of programs that are there. So it's a good place to start for anything. But the WIC program, remember, income's up to $44,000. Wow. If you're looking to buy a house, a condominium, or a co-op, or anything like that, particularly if it's your first time to buy a house, or you haven't bought one in a long time, there's money programs. It's not only at the federal level, it's a state, local, nonprofit organizations. There's not one office, that controls all this, except your HUD counselors. Now, these are the HUD counselors. They're in every community. Like in Washington, we must have a dozen or more of them that you could, contact. And you can contact one or more and see what they say. They don't cost anything. See, this is it. But they know the programs. That's an important thing. And there's down payment money, grant money to pay you down payments. Maybe you need, $7,000 for a down payment and another $5,000 for closing costs. Well, that kind of money can be, obtained in grant money, and from more than one different sources. But to learn the system, that's where the best place to go. If you go on the HUD website, you could learn about the program, but there's a lot of old data there, and you never know what's current or what's going on and things like that. But go to the HUD site anyway. Or actually just Google HUD counselors. When you do that, click on the links that have a .gov for HUD counselors, and you get to the HUD counseling page. And then over on the right-hand side of that page, it says Search by Map. And when you click Search by Map, what happens is you get a map of the United States, right? And you click your United States, or your state, and you see all the offices locally. You start with the one near you. If you don't feel welcome enough there, go to the next one. It doesn't matter. They get the same money. And remember, you don't pay them anything, but they know the programs, they know what's required, they can help you get into these things, and they know what's going on, particularly locally. See, the HUD doesn't know what's going on locally. There's just too much stuff going on. So that's the place to start. And getting a house is everyone's dream, right? It may not be as dreamy nowadays, but people still need a place to live. Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 2 years, you probably know about Obamacare. But it still is, I think, one of the greatest government programs there ever has been. Yeah, I mean, a way it can help you. And particularly for the 44 million people who are still without health insurance. Man, what happens if you get sick? What happens if you feel something wrong, you don't have money to pay? I mean, this is going to solve so many healthcare problems. I mean, it's not the best thing. I don't think it is the best at all. But man, it's certainly a lot better than what we had. Yeah, and what's important about it too is that half the people that still don't have insurance, could get it for free. There's so many people eligible for free. They don't have to pay anything, and they just don't know about the program. So this is tens of millions of people who can get subsidies to not have to pay for health insurance, but they don't realize it. That's the pity, I think. So tell your friends, tell your relatives or whatever about Obamacare. And remember, you could be making up to $90,000 and still get a subsidy. Now, I've been studying government programs 30, 40 years now, or whatever. And this next one I'm going to tell you about is probably one of the best, I think, that our country has to offer. And what they are small business development centers. They're not the Small Business Administration. They're actually related to it in a way, but they're not. They get money from the federal government and the state government, and they're their own nonprofit organizations that help entrepreneurs. That you want to do anything, even be a freelancer, or start a nonprofit organization, or an inventor, you want to work on your invention. They do consulting work for free for anybody. Honest to God. I mean, you're never going to get something like this in the private sector or whatever. I mean, you really have to know about these things. I mean, they give you marketing help, help you identify government programs or private programs, help you with crowdfunding even. They're doing that. Help you get government contracts, helping you protect your idea, your inventor. You don't know what to do. You want to incorporate, should you not incorporate? Help you with those kinds of questions. Help you get import-export, deals or whatever, anything. Or you don't even know how to spell entrepreneur. They will have classes for free, or if they charge you $5 is a lot, to hook you up. I mean, that's what they are. They're there for anybody in their area to help them create an opportunity for themselves, any kind. They could review proposals. They could get free legal help for you, free tax help, all this kind of stuff, for free for the individual. When I used to work for Fortune 500 companies, man, I used to go to these people and take their information and sell it to these Fortune 500 companies. And it's there for everybody. I mean, it's just an incredible, valuable resource that you should check into. So if you're an entrepreneur thinking about, or even a freelancer at home, maybe you're a freelance writer and you have a problem with a legal problem, these are people you could turn to for help for free, anything like that. And nonprofit organizations
organizations too, your church. Have them come in and help you and consult with you. It's just terrific. Now, how do you find the ones near you? Okay, you go to the website americassbdc.org. It's americassbdc.org, and you'll find a place to put in your zip code or whatever, and the people will be there. And just contact, make an appointment, go down and see what they're all about. And I have videos too, YouTube videos you can watch on the YouTube channel that interviews a lot of these people, and you'll see how terrific they are. But that's really a great deal in America.
Now, this next interview is a fellow's going to show you how he went from getting like $35 the first time he tried to get money on the internet, and all of a sudden the second time it went up to $6,000, and then the third time it was $187,000. And it's an important lesson to learn. So many of us, whether you buy these businesses in a box or these get-rich-quick schemes, and you're going to make $1 million by next Thursday or whatever. Man, that's not going to happen. Sure, these people who sell these things could find one person somewhere, to give you a headline that it sounds like that happens. They're the people who I put on my infomercials. I went and made one phone call and got $1 million. Well, maybe that happens by lightning, and you could find those people that put an ad. But the rest of us are going to have to work at it. That's what life is all about, working at it. And tell you the truth, if you're not working at it, man, it's no fun. What fun is there to beat up somebody who's 2 feet tall and weighs 100 pounds? That doesn't make any sense. And that's why most things in life are going to take effort. And that's why I think it's so important that when you find something you want to do, to go through those efforts, because everybody's going to sell you something. You'll be an instant this, and you'll make millions by Tuesday, and all that kind of stuff. And that's not going to happen. And it's going to be problems, and going to be hurdles to go over, and there'll be problems to solve, or obstacles to get around, and things like that. That's what all of life is. And if you're not prepared to do that, if you believe in a salesman's pitch that it's going to be very easy, then you're going to give up, and you're going to waste the money, and you're going to find another next get-rich-quick stuff. Somebody's promised you something, instant something, and it's not going to happen. And you're going to lose money again, and you just keep going from one thing to another like that, until you get tired or you die. Until you finally realize, oh shit, this is going to take work. So if it's going to take work, find something you really appreciate doing. Find something that you think is important to do, so you hang in there for the bad time, because the first time you try anything, it's going to work. Like, you want to, just pick up a football and go play in the Super Bowl or something? No, it takes a lot of effort to learn something. So anything new that you want to do in life, that you think you want to do in life, man, remember, it's like walking the first time or anything. You're going to have to fall down 100 times and learn how to do it. But if you hang in there, you learn it. Like this fella, he fell down, only got $35 the first time. The second time, he did a little better, got $6,000. Then he got close to $200,000. That's what life is about for 99% of it, for percent of us. Sure, there are going to be, examples of some outlier or whatever, or some real liar who tells you that this happened very easily. But most of life isn't that way. So watch this guy, how he did it, and start thinking about, hey, am I doing what I really want to do so I get through the hard times? Watch. Well, Gene Akins, right? And it's the power dot, now listen to this, company, not co, not com, not anything, but company. You're the dot company of the world. So we can always find you at the power dot company. But more important, man, you are
I mean, just the epitome of what life is really about and using new sources of money. Man, the first time you used crowdfunding, you went out, what? Got $35, yeah? You could have delivered newspapers for get more than that, right? And then the next time you got $6,000. Man, that's not going to get you a mansion. But all of a sudden, you're up to almost $200,000 doing this. And find a way. I mean, but to me, what's more interesting about you have all these electronic, genius ideas that people really need. And before the internet, man, you were going to investors and all these fat cats with cigars. Come here, boy, we're going to make you a star. And, so, and they left you hanging most of the time, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not easy. Yeah. And there was a couple times I got left, and you're 30% into a project, and there's nothing left that's saleable.
I see. And they got cold feet, and boy, it's another bad marriage, huh? Right? Oh, that's too bad. But you have, a background electronics, and you have this device now. I mean, it's so many things. It's like a little mini hard drive that is huge that we could put with any device, right?
Yes, you can transfer. Here it is. Here you can transfer. It's actually got 4 connectors. You can transfer data from
A little higher. We don't see that. A little higher. I see.
data, photos, videos, from any device to any device. Because see, we've got iPhone and micro and USB. And then there'll actually be a 4th connector, which is the new USB-C that Apple just introduced.
Oh, I see. Wow. And so now, when you went on, is this the first time on Indiegogo doing this product? Or did you have another product like this?
I actually had a product before called the iPocket Drive.
That's the thing in the middle of the circle, huh? Right? I see. Yeah, I saw that on your website.
It's when we finally broke into the iPhone and were able to move files from that. So then from there, I created a couple adapters for that. See, 2 different adapters.
I see.
And now you can plug it in this with this one adapter, it'll fit an iPhone with any case. Or
I see. And so for Android too. And so now the new one is really all those gadgets in one item?
In one item.
Yeah.
And it's 2/3 the size of a credit card.
Wow.
And it'll fit in your wallet.
It'll fit in my wallet, and I don't have to travel around with a big disk drive or whatever. What's nice about that, see, I could fit it in my wallet. Somebody lifted on them. I have a little Mini Cooper, even with question marks on it. And I thought, nobody. I was downtown Washington, D.C. Somebody took my knapsack out of the back trunk and took everything, and I had my hard drive, not only my computer, but my hard drive. See, if I had a little thing like you, I wouldn't keep it in my pants or whatever. I mean, my knapsack. Yeah, I'd have it in my pocket because that's so small. If I could keep it in my wallet, so I'll be really safe. Man, I'm still recovering, so I needed your thing. So I'm gonna have to get one. The only way to stop these thieves, is to get your product.
So now, if they pick your pocket and they get your iPocket Drive.
Right.
Or the Flex card.
Yeah.
The great thing about it is you can have passwords and encryption on it, and they still can't get your data.
I see. Right.
But see, you need to buy 2 of them.
I see.
You keep everything backed up. You keep everything backed up at home, and then you use one for the everyday use. See, you can be at a restaurant and you can take your card and take a file, take some pictures, give it to your guy who's got an Android. Now he can download those pictures. So see, you can transfer it from anything to anything. And now the greatest thing is you don't have to use the cloud, because we all know the cloud is really secure.
Right.
Ask some of those people that have their pictures on.
But not only, then you have internet access, who knows how fast it is, it takes long, and then, I mean, a little gadget like that, I mean, I keep in my, pocket so easily. If it fit in my wallet, it could fit anywhere, and transfer this stuff.
A customer called me the other day, and he said he went to an Apple store and upgraded his iPad. and they transferred the data, and it wouldn't work. They were there for 45 minutes trying to transfer the data. Then they used the iCloud. They tried everything, couldn't do it. And he remembered he had the iPocket out in his car. He went out and got it. Guess what?
That was kicking. Wow.
10 minutes later, it was all done. One button on the app. You press one button, and it'll back up every contact you have off of your iPhone.
Wow.
Then you can take it, give it to your buddy with an Android or an iPhone, and one button, and it'll put every one of those contacts.
I think there are more and more people living off of more than one device. I mean, you have your phone that's almost a computer. You got your pad that's closer to a computer and almost a phone, and then you have your PC that's probably both of them. So to keep something you're really using all the time on something like that, because you could hold a lot of data in that little sucker too, can't you?
Right now, we're working on the 128 and the 256. Yeah.
Wow.
So see, that's the thing. You can put all of your data on this or this and move it from device to device. You don't have to back up, sync, or anything. So what this really is, and people don't realize it yet, it's the foundation to making the cell phones your mini computer.
I see. Right.
That's what it is, because now what's going to happen is all these app companies are going to put that in their app that, hey, let's make it so when you save the file, it just doesn't go into the operating system inside the iPhone. You have the option to now store it on an external drive. So this is going to change a lot.
And we get it.
And if we get it now on Indiegogo, we're going to get a deal, right?
Yes, of course. We have the Let's Go deal.
Right, the Let's Go deal. But you can go to, the shortcut is really to go to thepower.company, C-O-M-P-A-N-Y. I barely got through college, but I knew how to spell that. And that will get you to the Flex card and the deal on Indiegogo. And then you'll have everything in the palm of your hand, smaller than... Look at a makeup pack even. Well, you're great, Gene. Thanks for being there and helping us out, doing all this neat stuff and making all these gadgets more worthwhile for us.
Yes. Thanks. Let's go.
All right. Take care.
It's been my pleasure.
Well, this next interview is going to show you more in detail why I think the internet, all this technology stuff, everybody walking around with their face and their phone and things like that, is actually going to bring us closer together instead of further apart. All the worrywart feel that, oh gosh, this computer now, people aren't talking to real people face to face and all this kind of stuff. Man, I was reading a book the other day that talking about technology and everything. Actually, like Aristotle, it's back in ancient Greece. He was the big philosopher of the day, and thousands of years ago. And he was so worried about Egypt when they developed paper, and then people could write words on paper. And he said, "Whoa, that's going to get rid of the mind. People won't have to memorize things, and because they'll be able to write it on paper." Everybody has this fear kind of stuff for anything that changes. But here, this is a way to hire people now, that are closer to you, that want to do the work, and maybe you don't know they want to do the work. And another thing, what it does is eliminate resumes, because see, now you go on somewhere to get actual reviews of real people. See, on these sites where you look for people to hire, or you offer yourself to work on some kind of skill that you want to do, or any kind of work you want to do, see, the people who hire you there rate you. So you get rated. Every job you have, you get rated. I mean, this is what's so great about things like Uber and Airbnb. You don't hand in a resume and get hired by some resume. You get hired by how well you did work for everybody else. And it's not the people, how you give 3 references in your resume. The references you're going to give in your resume are your uncle and your brother-in-law and your mother or somebody, that what they're going to say. But when you go on these sites now, where everybody rates everybody else, the worker rates the person given the money too. So that way, if anybody else using this website to get jobs wants to work for that idiot. He's a late payer or something like that. Man, where are you going to find stuff like that in a normal job? You don't know. Nobody knows. And that's why the internet, everything is so open on these sites like this, where they're creating jobs and creating opportunities, that is so open. Like we use an apartment we only use once in a while on Airbnb. Man, we work hard to satisfy these people because they leave a review. And then when people looking to rent our apartment, we know they consider those reviews because those people who review have no motive to say anything. They could say anything they want. It doesn't matter. They don't have to stay there again or whatever. But on a normal kind of operations, when I review a high-end, we don't care about that much, right? We probably even trash the room, and they don't review us, that we're lousy guests, right? But now the internet does. It's almost like a responsibility. It's like your mother is in charge of everything, and you want to be nice in front of your mother, or something like that. And also this website too, which is neat, it brings people in a community together. Because the guy down the street who knows how to fix plumbing, he may want to make an extra $50, to fix your toilet that you don't know how to do, right? Instead of calling, we have somebody around here called Franklin the plumber or something like that, who advertises all over, and it's going to charge a couple $100 for them to come in and do it. So there's things like that, or even for you to make a couple extra dollars, doing something and doing something for somebody you really like working for. Instead of banging on your neighbor's door and say, hey, you want us to do anything for a few bucks? That's a little embarrassing at times. But when it's on a website and everything, it makes it friendly, somehow. And so it's neighbors helping neighbors because you're doing them a favor and they're doing you a favor. So this is what's happening. This is so neat about the internet, where it's connecting people closer that wouldn't be connected. I don't know, my fella down the street could fix toilets, but now I do, because he's going to come down and fix mine for $50, and that's a hell of a lot better than Franklin the plumber. So watch this interview. Bernstein of Workly.com. Man, I look at your stuff and I say, God, if I ever need to hire anybody, what you do for somebody looking for help to fix stuff or do anything around, that God, I don't have to rely on a resume. Resumes, you're going to put resumes out of business, aren't you? We no longer have to write a resume because I could go on your site and see what everybody else who used this person says about them, and I don't have to know these people personally because it's all right there. It just seems like an ideal hiring tool for anybody because you get it from the horse's mouth, not some bullshit on a resume, right?
Exactly. We live in a world right now where the speed of information is just so fast. Who has time to read a whole resume? You just want to get right to the point, especially if what you're looking for is a handyman or a carpenter or a painter. And if they're not complete strangers either, better to look through people who your friends know and the people in your community to just find the kind of workers you need, and then actually get those ratings and reviews and sort of verified by community workers. So
it's now everybody knows how to game the system. If I write my own reviews on Amazon and stuff like that. but from your service, this is authentic stuff from authentic people, and it's people in the neighborhood. And you say, and most of the people you're going to get is going to be at a bargain because it's not their, it's not a big business for them. It's something they're doing, in addition to something else, and they appreciate the extra money.
Exactly. You're going to find the whole gamut on Workly, from people who are professional freelancers to, like I said, nurses and teachers and returning soldiers who are just looking for that extra time. I met with some representatives from JP Morgan Chase and the Center for Financial Innovation. And, one of the biggest issues they identify in the United States right now is getting from paycheck to paycheck for a lot of families, for low and middle income families who, these people have full-time jobs, but they need that extra $50 to $200 a week to sort of get their family into the clear.
Well, I mean, I was just reading data the other day, like half the people on food stamps have jobs. It's low income is now, low income government programs go up to $40,000. Everybody's struggling. So that's why here's a way to not only make extra money, but get things done for a lot more reasonable cost. And in a way, I think extra money, I mean, you have a place that you do all the marketing, for my skill. So if I have a special skill, I don't have to worry about putting flyers out because you're doing it for me.
Yeah, and the other thing is not only just sort of creating marketing for these people who wouldn't know how to get involved in this network otherwise, but it's this idea of creating this sort of a clever marketplace where people could get work rather than putting up sort of pull tabs at their coffee shop and having their neighbors wonder whether or not they sort of need additional labor. It's a little bit like Airbnb in the way that, I think when people before Airbnb were reluctant to sort of say, hey, I have an extra room for rent, because they didn't want their neighbors to think that they needed money. But now you have Airbnb and all of a sudden you're not poor, you're clever.
Cool. Yeah, no, we do it. We have an apartment and we do and I brag at cocktail parties. Yeah.
And so I think Workly does that same sort of thing. It allows people who have a little bit of extra time in their schedule to sort of convert that into income really easily and connect with their neighbors and improve their communities.
Right. But no, I mean, that's why you seem very neighborhood oriented. So you're dealing with people, neighbors. I mean, and then from the person offering the service, you don't want to go around the neighborhood banging on doors. You want your lawn cut.
Although we all probably did that when we were kids. I was
exactly. I did.
Shoveling brigade with me and my friends.
Sidewalks in the snow and cutting lawns. Exactly. So this is a way to do that.
And even that, that was a great way to know my neighbors as a kid. We knew all the people, and we knew where the elderly homes are and where people needed that extra care. And I kind of feel like that's lost in our communities these days.
But another thing, you don't even really charge. You're not taking a piece of the action like most of these services do. They're taking, 10, 15, 20% sometimes of the money. And you take $2 on a sale and that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, a traditional staffing agency is going to take between 17 and 25% of the entire hourly wage. And that worker is going to get paid minimum wage. And, one of the things that we do is we allow you to work directly with the other consumer. So the fees are $2 for the worker and $2 for the manager. So each party pays $2, and then you can make as much as you want using the site.
Right.
Well, that's right. So for $2, and that's only $2 if I get a gig. It's free to go on, right?
Totally free to create a profile. So you really only pay when you actually make money, which is kind of great. We do offer a membership model for sort of an enhanced profile. Workly currently lets you have a photo and you basically click and choose all of the things as your sort of work file instead of a resume. But if you feel the need to show your gallery of work, to tell who your clients are, to put your bio on, then we allow you to actually have an enhanced profile for only $3 a month. So everything is super affordable.
Well, not only that, see, to me, if I was a freelancer, anything, or looking for work, I mean, I could have you instead of a web page, because I have all the information there, and it's an easy place for them to hire me and whatever.
Exactly, accredited ratings and reviews to build your performance indicators, to build your resume. And one of the great things about Workly is it really works for this sort of millennial personality of somebody who doesn't want to live in just one city.
Right.
Think about the film industry where you can just travel around the entire country from season to season. Just, so you're a badass carpenter in LA, and you decide you want to come live in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. You come out here, you switch your profile city. The next thing you know, you're here with all of your credits, all of your ratings, all of your reviews are now in New Orleans workforce.
That's only for $3 a month, man. To get a URL and a domain and all that kind of nonsense. It's going to be a lot bigger than that, and it's not giving you any traffic, so you're giving me traffic, and I can put all my stuff on your stuff, right, on your site. Oh, that's true. And you guys are fairly new, like a year or so, but actually I guess that's old now in this business. I mean, being a year out of the box.
Actually, we're only about 6 months long.
6 months, yeah. Oh, that's terrific, and it's national, so you go anywhere, and it's Workly, WERKLY.com. Get a job, find a job, get somebody to do something for you.
Exactly. Are you ready to work?
bargain.
And yeah, we're entirely a user-supported site right now. We haven't taken any funding, and we're currently running an Indiegogo campaign to sort of create some new features for our users right now.
Exactly, on Indiegogo. I forgot it. So actually, if you go to Workly, then you get to the Indiegogo and you get that, help them support that new app that you're going to get. And once on the new app, then, man, you could go on, then Workly, you said you're going to be hooked up with Facebook. So the friends of the friends of the friends of the friends.
Exactly. You'll be able to just literally search through your friend network to find all the skilled workers you need. It's the same way when you go to Facebook right now and you ask your friends, hey, who knows a carpenter? You'll be able to come to Workly directly and see those people. We're also adding SMS technology, so after you create a profile on Workly, you'll never have to come back to the website again, actually. We'll just
I see.
whenever somebody wants to hire you.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's what it's all about. I think the phones are the way to go. We're going to get rid of these PCs, this clunk of metal right here. Who's going to need that? Well, thank you so much, Eric. Pleasure talking with you. It sounds like a great thing you have, and hooking up people. That's what's so great about the internet, man. We don't have to go to the supermarket to put a clip on the board or whatever, anymore.
Yeah, we're saving paper over here.
Exactly, because of guys like you. So that's Workly, WERKLY.com. See, you got to go to school longer to learn how to spell, don't you? Take care.
Take it easy, Matthew.